This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Thursday morning, everybody. Stick with me. It's going to be an interesting show, unlike most of my shows that are not interesting. But see, I don't give a damn, because when I come after some son of a bitch, I don't care if nobody listens. I'm coming after him. But Charlie Meier is on his way in. He's our state representative out of the 108th legislative district out of Oakville. Great guy. He wants to talk about the judges, so he called. He's on his way in. Carl Officer will probably stop by. But again, even with Carl, Charlie Meier, any of my guests, don't ever hold them responsible for what I say. I get tired. They're holding the whole Freedom Coalition Party responsible because they're running with me. They shook my hand. Hell, if I get one more bad hit piece, they may convince me not to vote for me. But see, you people are smarter than that. They take my mistake and they wrap it around so many lies, so many innuendos. They put me with every candidate. And people, they do that because they have nothing to run on. They have no record to run on. And I just hope everybody that's been screwed and disrespected by the St. Clair County Democratic culture of corruption, not just the Republicans, but the proud rank and file Democrats. I hope you guys come out in droves and run every one of these bastards out of office. And here's the good thing, people. If you elect us and we screw up, throw our asses out in 2 and 4 years. We won't be able to get 40, 50 years of entrenchment like these guys have had. You understand the money that they've spent in St. Clair County. The hit pieces on me, Carl Officer, all the candidates. It's unprecedented because they don't want to lose their corrupt power, people. So let's all of us, Democrats, Republicans, independents, men, women, black and white. The hell with the Democratic organization. And I say, kind of the heck with the Republican organization. I've got an article here that says about 30% of the people signify as Democrats, 22% or 24% signify as Republicans. The rest of us are independents. Now, we may have Democratic leanings or Republican leanings, but I told you before, it's the organizational people, both Democrats and Republican, about the 5% that vote for our ticket, vote for the Republicans, vote for the Democrats so they can all keep their jobs, their family and friends. People, do as we say in the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Vote the person, not the party. But stick around again, Charlie Meier, state representative. And I want to tell everybody in Clinton and Washington County, I love you guys. I go up there. I guess they've forgiven me because they open up their arms for Bob Romanik, poor white trash from the housing projects of East St. Louis. See, that shows you how those farm guys, how the decent people will accept somebody that's not perfect. Now, you get here in Belleville, if you're not perfect like Mark, here we go, people. Mark, the big faggot Kern, or Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants and lay around and take money from everybody than do my job, Sprague. These two asswipe, no count, good for nothing son of a bitches You guys know it. You've seen them at the courthouse. They think they're better than all of us. Let's show these son of a bitches on November the 8th. They're no better. They're worse. They're not real people. They're robots. They're elitist robots. They don't give a damn about your family. Definitely don't give a damn about my family. Let's don't give a damn about them and their families come November the 8th. Hey, I got to say, before I get going on Brendan Kelly, and I'm really appalled by what he has allegedly done, this ignorant bastard, Mayor of Belleville, Mark Maximus Vaginas Eckert, and you know what I mean by Maximus Vaginas, he holds a press conference yesterday and says a Hyatt Place hotel will be expected to be built in 2018. Now, he did that to get ahead of his April election. He's running for mayor again. He's already announced he's running for mayor in April. So he wants to get this out. Now, it's not expected to be completed till 2018, so he can throw all this crap out. You ever notice they do everything right? They're going to do everything and change the world right before the election. First, it was they can't say who it is, but now they say it's a Hyatt Place hotel. Now, I don't know about a Hyatt Place or a Hyatt, but I think the old Okefenok's going in. And this Keller group out of Effingham, and they don't have a real good financial reputation, says delays do not frustrate Keller. Hell no, but it frustrates the rest of us. They had the audacity and nerve to say, now people, I'm reading it in the paper, that debacle development is half completed out there at the Shrine. If it's half completed, well, I can't say what I like to say, but you people drive by. I drive by every day going down the East St. Louis. That thing is not going to be completed before next summer, if it's completed then. And Mark Maximus Vaginas Eckert, we know good things take time. We continue to hold our patience. Hey, Mayor, you're holding that same little ding-a-ling in your pants, too, and it ain't doing nobody no good. If you know what I mean, and I think you do. We're going to see all this happen. Are you full of crap, Eckert? This ignorant son of a bitch, I don't know if he knows. He must be spending a lot of time down at the medical marijuana place down in Sauget where Rich, the dope pushing Sauget, because he pushes that dope. He owns that property down there that sells all that marijuana. You know, that legal marijuana. Bull crap. Eckert, do you think we're stupid? No, I'm sorry. I know you think we're stupid. Eckert said that he thinks the hotel will be successful because of the number of visitors who go to the Shrine, art on the square. You stupid son of a bitch. I don't care if there's 10 million people come for those two events. What are you going to do the rest of the year? But he's going to make a bad situation appear to be good. But people, understand me. All this bastard has done is got his name out there. He knows there's going to be a debacle at that Hoff Brew House. But now he says a hotel's coming in 2018. You know, Kern's down in East St. Louis. Going to be a big development down on the riverfront. They say that every 4 years. They always announce it, though, a couple of weeks before election. They're going to be an expungement of everybody that's killed everybody in St. Clair County. And when did they announce that? A week before the election. And it's all an okey-fadoke. But they've lied to you long enough, people. They've lied to you. They keep getting away with it. Please, don't let them anymore. Also in the paper, will this be the election that finally kills off the Democratic and the Republican Party? The two-party system is destroying politics in our country. I just told you, people, most of us are either Democratic-leaning independents or Republican-leaning independents. It's not vote the person with these political groups. It's vote the party. And there's black sheep on both sides. But here it is. Independent registration has jumped up since 2008 by 22%. The Democrats have decreased 2%, Republicans 3.2%. Do you see what's happening, people? These organizational asswipes, they want you got to be a party person. Well, hell, there's about 50 to 60% of us that are independent. Now, you can have Democratic leanings, lean more towards the Democratic philosophy or the Republican philosophy. But you have to be independent. You don't need these politicians telling you who to vote for and why vote. I had someone tell me last night, and I want to thank Mayor Spicer, Frank Allegestein, the Dombachers, the Friedrich family, and everybody that put on a great meet and greet for the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition candidates down in Freeburg. There was probably 200-300 people down there. What a great group of people, and we all the candidates want to thank you for taking the time out. Those people in Freeburg, and I got to say, all throughout St. Clair County that I've met, they know I'm not perfect, but I'll tell you what, they open up their arms. I think these are decent people. You know, somebody that's going to forgive somebody for what they've done. I've had a lot of people tell me, Bob, I'll forgive you for what you've done if you'll forgive me. And I said, hey, I don't know what you've done. And they said, well, I'm not going to let you know. And I understand that. But people, this election's going to make or break this county. Hey, and I got to say, one of the guys at the meet and greet said, Bob, I thought they took you off the air last week when there was that train wreck. And I said, no, it was the engineer, and he knocked down a couple utility poles. And the guy said, well, I wonder if Mark, the big faggot Kern, maybe he was in the engine with this engineer, and maybe he was down on his knees praying that it wouldn't be a wreck. And the guy said, no, I know about Mark, the big faggot Kern. Said he might have been down on his knees, but I don't think he was praying. And this guy tells me, if you know what I mean. And he said, I think you do. So, hey, Mark my man, or Mark my boy, I mean. Why don't you ever call? People, do you understand? We've humiliated, we've embarrassed, we've exposed these son of a bitches for what they are. They're not going to defend themselves. They have nothing to defend. But I just laughed when the guy said, nah, he wasn't praying. If Mark, the big faggot Kern, was on his knees, he was not praying. And I didn't say that. He said that, so get mad at him. Don't get mad at me. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Got Charlie Meier will be coming in, and I think Charlie's got a legitimate point about these judges. He goes to Springfield, and he fights for the people of the 108th Legislative District. And I tell you, you guys in Washington, Clinton County that are fortunate enough to be represented by Charlie Meier, you know what kind of job he does. I mean, he's an honorable man. I don't know why every state legislator, every state senator can't be like Charlie Meier. Charlie Meier is in the fight to fight for the people. He's a farmer by trade, but he has the people's interest at heart. I'm going to have the people's interest at heart, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Maybe literally, if Madigan gives me any crap and I get elected, I'll go to jail because I'll put my foot up that old stinky son of a bitch's ass. If he asks me to vote for a tax increase for anything, I'll cuss him out on the state house floor. Now I know my opponent, who has gotten, I guess, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. See, she don't touch the money, LaToya Greenwood. My opponent, the council lady for me, St. Louis, you know she's going to have 3 jobs if she gets elected. She's going to keep her state representative job, going to keep her city councilwoman job, going to keep her job with School District 189. And I'll tell you how hypocritical her and her father are. They've screwed up School District 189. She sends her kids. Now, her father is the president of School District 189. She's the head of human resources, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 do-nothing job. They're so hypocritical, and they've done such a good job down there. She refuses to send her kids to School District 189. What does that tell you? And they tell me she's never, 8 years on the council, never presented any legislation. She sits there and bobbleheads, and she'll bobblehead for Madigan. And you can sit down there, LaToya, all day long and talk about that black-white crap. I'm tired of hearing that. Hey, that Romanik's white. He's a hunky. Vote for me. I'm black. I don't play that crap in the outer county. I don't want somebody voting for me because I'm white and you're black. I want somebody voting for me because they know I'm going to go to Springfield and I'm not going to take any crap from either side. I want them to know that I'm going to represent them, the good people of the 114th Legislative District. And it just pisses me off that we got to play some politics. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. Go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling, for the best of all 3 of our great stations. Listen to my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. And now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Please like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or KZQZ 1430 AM. You can go to my personal Facebook page, Fans of the Grim Reaper, or Bob Romanik for State Representative. And as always, St. Clair County Freedom Coalition on Facebook. Hey, I gotta say, this ignorant asswipe, Mark, the big faggot, Kern, this son of a bitch sends out a hit piece, and it's not a hit piece, it's something good for him. He's taking credit for building all the bridges now, all the roads. This son of a bitch is going to take credit for the air that we breathe before it's all over. And people, understand, these aren't men. These are pieces of crap. And I guess I have to apologize to the pieces of crap. They're lower. They're more low life than crap. These guys will never defend themselves. We've embarrassed them. We've insulted them. We've humiliated them. And we've exposed them for what they are. And they're the laughing stock. So let's get rid of people like that come election. And one last thing before we take a break and get with Charlie Myers. He'll be coming in. Tom Holbrook. You say everything was good. Voting machines are operating. Well, now I hear on the news there's 3 or 4 of them that aren't operating. You no good son of a bitch. We hope you don't steal this election, you rotten bastard asswipe. And by the way, hey, Tom, what about those allegations with Derek Wallace? Those are some salacious allegations. People, this Derek Wallace is alleged now that Tom Holbrook, and it's all over the internet, he's a pedophile. Tom, and I don't know. Are you or are you not Tom Holbrook? Can you call me? Can you defend yourself? Toll free 1-888-394-1430 on the east side, 394-1190. And they say Bob Romanik's a bad guy? This Derek Wallace is all over your ass. But here's what happens, people. They're trying to shut him up. They tell me from good sources, and it hasn't been confirmed because our state's attorney, Brendan Kelly, a decent guy, will not return the call. I think he's ducking us. I hear last night, Brendan Kelly issues a warrant with a $250,000 bond for this Derek Wallace's arrest. And guess what he's charged with? He's charged with threatening a public official. Charged with threatening. That's Tom Holbrook. Nobody else gets charged. And he's also charged with, I can't remember the other bullcrap charge, cyberbullying, cyber threatening on the internet. Now, Tom Holbrook is afraid. This guy's in Detroit, Michigan. They're trying to get him extradited from Detroit, Michigan. Do you see how these people play the game? Holbrook, I don't think you're going to silence this Derek Wallace. I think now all this crap's going to come out because he's going to come out with this alleged pedophilia. He's going to come out with this and that. I think you should have I personally think you should have kept your mouth shut. But I don't think you could, Holbrook. Now, those allegations, if they're true, Tom Holbrook, I say if they're true, and they're allegations at this point, why don't you, and he put that on the website, and people have asked me, they saw it on the website, why don't you sue that son of a bitch? I would have had him sued in about 30 seconds. Of course, you'll have to be deposed. He'll have to be deposed. What's going on, Tom Holbrook? I'd like to know. You're part of the St. Clair County Democratic culture of corruption. You and a faggot boy, if you know what I mean about Kern, and I think you do. And I'm the bad guy? Come on, guys, get out of that closet. Was it a door broke? I looked for you in the kitchen. Looked for you guys in the hallway. Looked for you in your offices. The only place that I haven't looked is in the closet. Well, you guys, if you're hiding in the closet, come out of the closet. But isn't it egregious, people? Everybody else, there's mayors that I know, they get threatened on the internet all the time. But because this is Tom Holbrook, one of their guys, guess what happens? This Derek Wallace gets arrested. Now, Brendan Kelly, if you're listening, please give me a call and defend yourself, will you? Why would you arrest this guy? Cyberbullying, cyber assault? And when he's in Detroit, and you guys know he's in Detroit, I think you guys set him up. I personally think that you guys set him up. But people, that's what they do in St. Clair County. They don't play fair. They're nasty. And we got to get just as nasty. And we can get real nasty on November the 8th. And I don't give a damn, people. If you guys don't run these son of a bitches out of office, it's going to be on you. And the next 4 years is going to be hell, and you're going to have hell to pay. Don't give a damn Democrat, Republican, men, women, black or white, below the hill or above the hill. It's time for a change after 40 years of this corruption. But for them to arrest this guy, people, because he's talking about Holbrook, because he's allegedly exposing Holbrook, and we got to take that crap? We're not going to take it anymore, people. November the 8th, let's make the change. Hopefully all throughout this great country. We need a change, because if we don't get a change now, there's not going to be another opportunity. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. Charlie Myers hopefully will be pulling up here shortly. We'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio at its finest, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. I always get calls, most of them off the air, because I'm ranting and raving, don't have time for calls, but I just want to thank everybody that calls. I just talked to a gentleman, and I told him, he says he's supporting me, and I said, well, sir, know that I'm not perfect, and he said, that's what makes you a human being. So, if I lose the election, I win, because I've made a lot of friends, and I've got restored faith in mankind and womankind, because there's a lot of decent people, forgiving people out there. So I want to thank you guys, whether you vote for me or not. Just thanks for being decent. Also, I want to say for Tiffany Pearson and Rosalind Ross, two beautiful ladies I met last night, friends of our candidate, your candidate for circuit judge, Laninia Kaysen. They were friends of hers. Two beautiful ladies. So Tiffany Pearson and Rosalind Ross, they say they listen all the time. Thank you very much. And I want to put a shout out to Mike Wahoo Jones from the Jones Racing Team. He's proudly sponsored by Rich Dombacher in Freeburg. And I can't say enough about the Dombachers and the good people of Freeburg. So Mike Wahoo Jones, thank you very, very much. Charlie Myers just walked in. And let me give this disclaimer once again. You guys know I'm nuts. You know I don't give a damn. If I go to Springfield, I'm going to be the craziest son of a bitch in Springfield. And you know I'm going up in a coffin. People say, don't say that, you'll lose votes. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to let you people know everything I'm going to do. I'm going up in the coffin. I'm popping out of the coffin, and I'm telling both sides it's not a celebration. It's a funeral. They've bled us to death, and it's going to be time for a change. And maybe I don't change it, but I'll bring so much anger and so much devastation to Springfield that they'll probably want to get that budget just to get me the hell out of there. But anyway, Charlie Meier just walked in, and what I say, people, don't ever attribute it to Charlie Meier, because Charlie Meier is a great leader for the people, and he always talks so nice about all the people in Washington and Clinton County, and I can see why, because they are decent people. Charlie Meier, State Representative, 108th District, out of Oakville. How the hell you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, Bob, and it's good to see that you're looking a lot better than you were last time I was here.
Well, you're a good state representative. Are you a doctor now? What are you going to give me? You ain't Kern. Give me an example. Never mind. Since you're here, I'll respect you, and I won't disrespect him. Charlie, What's going on in Springfield, and what's going on with these judges?
Well, before that, I want to do a shout out. I don't very often get the chance, but I have a great niece who is home from school today with a fever, and her grandma says, "Well, we'll listen to you." So, Victoria, I want to say hi. Hope you're feeling better, and everybody down at the Queen of Hearts last night at the Nashville Legion. I want to give you a shout out too. They were all excited I was going to be on the show today, Bob. You've got a lot of listeners out there.
Yeah, well, that's after they get drunk. After they get drunk, they like that. Hey, no, guys out there in Nashville, thank you very much. Charlie, I saw in the paper, and I know they're glad to have your endorsement for these two great judges. I've met both of them on the campaign trail, and the Democrats try to bloody every son, and they can bloody me up, and I probably deserve it, but these guys are decent, hardworking family people. And these Democrats, and I don't mean the rank and file Democrats. You are decent people out there. I'm talking about the party politicians. They just won't give up, will they?
No, they won't. And, I was very fortunate, Bob. On Monday, I got to attend the swearing in of Lloyd Carmeier as the Illinois Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And they had done the same campaign against him. The trial lawyers had dropped $2.5 million against him, made him look like the worst person in the world, distorted facts, and here we are again, and the same thing's happening. We're having trial lawyers from all over the country are mailing money in against these two judges. They've dumped in over $1 million in the last week and a half to try to make sure. For them, it's kind of like an insurance policy. They just want the extra little edge. They know that they will be in court. They will be in front of these judges. And it would be much better to be in front of a judge that you helped elect. It might give you that little extra edge to get that case. In these cases, these are multi-million, some of them are billion-dollar cases. And so, for them to spend $1 million isn't anything. It's a drop in a bucket because it's just an investment for them. And these two hardworking, honest family men are out there trying to run a campaign, raise funds. They had like $64,000 they could spend against the $1 million that's been raised otherwise. And I've not met the other two judges that are running against them. I can't say they're bad people, but I do know that the trial lawyers want to have the edge. They're giving them the money, and they'll lead you to believe that their Democratic judges are backed by our NRA and the Illinois Rifle Association. These organizations haven't backed anybody. Let's get to the facts. Let's stand on it. They'll quickly point out the fact that the Illinois Bar Association hasn't rated these two judges well. Well, the Illinois Bar Association is pretty well trial lawyers. Of the 177 votes, the major majority of those were trial lawyers. They're not going to give them a good rating because they want to beat them. Right. They don't want to be in front of these judges.
You know what bothers me, Charlie? And they ask me, how many endorsements have you got, Bob Romanik? And you know what I said, Charlie? I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a hypocrite. I cannot tell the National Rifle Association, the Right to Life groups, I can't tell any of these groups what I'm going to vote for or what I'm going to be for until I get elected and until the people that I represent, the people that send me to Springfield, then I'll know. But how can anybody get an endorsement? And more so than that, why do you people out there, because somebody says this is a good guy, you decide for yourself. Don't let me, don't let Charlie Meier, don't let anybody say we're endorsing somebody. You people are intelligent people. Listen to what I say. Listen to what Charlie Meier says, but research it for yourself. I don't want anybody telling me, hey, you ought to vote for this guy. And that's what we do in politics. But I tell you people, research the backgrounds, research the facts of all these candidates. The newspaper endorses this and don't endorse that. I give a damn less about some editorial asswipe. And it's only one person. They say we're endorsing whatever. Who gives a damn? But Charlie, I hear you don't need any endorsements because I hear you're running high in the polls for your...
I should be able to win, Bob. I am running unopposed.
Oh, never mind.
So, I should be able to win, but I am chairman for Judge John Barberis. I am chairman of his campaign, and he is the first Republican judge elected in almost 100 years in the Madison County court system 2 years ago. He ran that campaign on $5,000 when his opponent spent about $100,000. But the people knew what an honest, hardworking man he was. That's why he was elected. If you watch the ads and mailers going into your mailbox in the next few days against these two people, it's going to be horrible. Think about their families. And this is the farthest thing from the truth. You know, we've got ads running up there in Madison County against a state rep candidate saying he's going to take away Social Security. He's going to take away Medicaid, Medicare.
And he's for rape.
He's running for state rep. We don't vote on Social Security or Medicare. He doesn't have the power to take that away. But, you know, they want to scare you.
You know, Kurt Prenzler was on. And I think Madison County may be switching a little bit Republican, don't you, Charlie?
Madison County is turning, and you know, there's a lot of good, hardworking people up there. And when I'm up in Madison County and I'm in Springfield, I want to make a difference. I want Granite City Steel workers back to work. I don't want to have to extend their unemployment. I want changes so that we can keep that business working. We have other steel factories in America working. Granite Steel is not working because of the state of Illinois and our workman's comp.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Charlie, you talk about ads. I mean, they've spent hundreds of $1,000s on ads, hit pieces on me, because Madigan knows if I get elected, I won't bobblehead for him. I'll never, ever. And that's one of my pledges. Never, ever, under any circumstance, and I know you probably disagree with me, I'll never vote for a tax increase. I vote for cut spending. But all these ads, Charlie, I think it was Babcock up in Madison County, they're so nasty. They're saying that he did something and let the rapist out, and he's for rape. And I mean, people are smarter than that. But these asswipe, the real hard, not you're a public servant, but these real hardcore politicians, Charlie, it's not about a job for a state representative in Springfield for Madigan. It's about the big money coming out of Chicago. That's why there's millions of dollars spent on state representative races.
It's all to keep Madigan in power so he can control the hiring in the state of Illinois, and he can control all the laws so that he can keep, and his friends can keep making millions.
Yeah.
And they say that Rauner and his millionaire friends want to make the millions. Well, Madigan has turned himself into a very rich man by having control of the state of Illinois. And there's a lot of people with him that have done the same thing on the backs of our taxpayers.
Hey, let me tell you what, Madigan, and I know you guys monitor it. You ain't going to control my foot up your ass, you old, crotchety, no good for nothing, thieving bastard. And that's what I'm going to tell you from the State House floor, because, see, I don't give a damn about these politicians, Charlie, and you don't give a damn either, because you're a true public servant. That's what we need, people. People are going to serve the public, not get up there and steal money. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, Charlie. We'll talk a little bit about the budget, and I know you're fighting to try to get some kind of balanced budget, and the Republicans and maybe a few of the Democrats. But I think it's the leaders on the Democratic side that want to keep this crap going until they get everything, not what's good for us, the people, but good for them, the greasy, sleazy politicians. And we'll talk about it right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. I'll tell you people one thing, and I'm going to get back to Charlie. I am the craziest, ignorant son of a bitch in town. I know my limitations, but I swear to you, if I go to Springfield, you'll never see nothing like it. We may not get anything done, but it'll be worth the price of admission for the entertainment. I promise you that. And Charlie, speaking of entertainment, you always take care and service the great people of Clinton and Washington County. You always do. And I'd like to know what's going on in your great part of the world.
Well, before we start that, just want to say hi to Victoria again, and glad to get a shout out from her back to the radio station. But Saturday night at New Baden, the Zion United Church of Christ has their chicken dinner, and Breeze St. John's UCC Church has their chili and soup supper. And then when you start on Sunday, we have the Germantown Veterans Breakfast, Highland American Legion Breakfast, Bartell's Old Chicken and Beef Dinner, Breeze KC Pork Sausage and Beef Dinner, Marine Pork Sausage Dinner at the UCC Church there. Oakville Community Club has a spaghetti supper. Farron Church has their Wurst Mart, and the Highland VFW has their turkey shoot. So there's a lot of things going on in my district, and hopefully you'll see me at some of them. I try to get to as many of them as I can always.
Charlie, I want to apologize. You're my friend. I called you fat ass one time, but I can see why you're fat ass. Hell, if you eat at half of these dinners, hell, you ain't going to be able to get through the door.
I've learned now, Bob, at first I ate at them all the first time, the first election. Everybody wants to eat their meals, tell you how wonderful they are and they're good food. And it's good to sit down and talk with people. But now I'll go in and buy carryouts and maybe only eat at one or two of them. Yeah. And then I give the carryouts to my mom's friends who are in their upper 80s. And that way they don't have to cook that week.
Charlie, you're a good man. Carl Officer just walked in. Carl, we had talked and we knew Charlie was coming in today, and we talked about the budget. And I know Charlie wants to get back to the judges momentarily, but you had a question about the budget for Charlie?
Well, the only thing that I want to ask Charlie, how is this November the 3rd? And the state of Illinois has no budget. You're a member of the Illinois House of Representatives. Does the tax, doesn't all that start in the Illinois House?
Yes, the Illinois House is to submit a revenue estimate to the governor's office on how much revenue will be brought in for this coming year, so we can then start working on our budget. And as we all know, in the House, there's only one person who controls everything. That's Speaker Madigan. We have never even had our revenue estimate allowed to happen this year.
And, you know, the last thing on this, because I agree with Bob, he is going to go to jail when he goes to Springfield next year, because we're taking in more money now than the state has ever taken in history of the state of Illinois. We got that much money coming in, but you're just spending like there's no tomorrow.
Well, when they raised our taxes by 66%, we all owed $28,000. Now, after we've had that tax increase, we all owe about $45,000. So, yes, they just keep creating new programs. They want to take our money from down here, and they ship it up to Chicago, and they create new programs. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of talk about the constitutional amendment about the IDOT funds and putting them in a lockbox. We shouldn't have to have that amendment. It's the law. But our past administration, Governor Quinn took billions of dollars out of there and used it for new social programs. And that's why we have our bridges and roads collapsing.
Well, that's another reason why you got to have Judge Moore and Judge Barberas, because if it goes to court, you're going to need some judges that are honest and not bought and paid for by the Chicago Democratic machine. Just that simple.
It is that simple. We need honest judges. You know, they say that businesses don't donate like trial lawyers do to these judge races. Well, no business is out there thinking, I'm going to get sued tomorrow. I've got to go buy me a judge. You know, a business is out there trying to make a living, provide their employees with benefits, help them, and be able to raise their family. And they're not worried about being in court. These trial lawyers know they'll be in court. So, you know, they're out there trying to hedge their bets. And it just seems a shame the way these ads are and what these families have to go through.
Okay, Charlie, who are you voting for and who are you asking the people? You're not endorsing this guy, but you're going to ask the people to research and vote for who for judge?
I'm asking them in the 5th Appellate Court to vote for Judge Randy Moore and to vote for John Barberas. They are both very good people. I'm glad to call them my friends, and I would trust them with anything I had. They hard work, honesty, and you know, it's what made America great. And you know, why should we have our judges? You know, these campaigns coming from trial lawyers. You think about it. Do you want to be in court and knowing that the lawyer against you help get that judge elected.
Yeah, well, that's St. Clair County with Bob Sprague. Hey, Charlie, we've got a couple more minutes, and I got a real serious question and very interesting. I heard that you raised that beautiful family farmhouse of yours, and I've been in there, and it's a beautiful place, and that's a big. How the hell do they raise a house?
Well, you build piers. It looks like a giant Jenga game.
What's a Jenga game?
Jenga game is where you pull the little blocks out and you build a tower and you pull them out
okay.
so it falls over.
All right.
Well, my house is up on a bunch of piers built out of 6x6s, supporting huge steel beams that weigh 6,600 pounds apiece, and then hydraulic jacks raise it. And it didn't really weigh as much as we thought. It weighed 93 tons. We thought it would have been heavier than that, but it's up in the air. They dug all the old walls out, and then they re-cribbed it, moved these piers to different spots, and dug out where they were sitting. And so as of Tuesday, we poured basement walls. And so we're making progress, in over a week to 2 weeks, hopefully, we'll get it back down on the foundation.
Are you living in it now still?
Well, yeah, it hasn't. I have no heat, no hot water.
You're crazier than I am.
I have cold water to the bathroom sinks. I have a wonderful blue Johnny on the spot, and I go out to the barn, and I have a hot water in our old dairy barn yet. So
hey, Charlie, if I go out there and see you showering with the pigs and the hogs, it's going to be a different. I'm going to think a little bit different of you, buddy.
There's no. There's probably an occasional rat or coon or something in the barn, but that's where I go out, take a shower with the hose, and my house was built by my great grandparents and my grandma, who was 5 foot tall and about 100 pounds at 18. She drug all those logs home with a team of mules for our house and our barn.
Boy. Well, Charlie, listen, you are one of the best state representatives. I wish we had everybody like you in Springfield, because you are a true public servant. We'd have this budget already taken care of, and we don't have any more time. But Charlie Meier, you are my friend. Charlie Meier will be elected because the Democrats were smart enough not to waste their money out there, because Charlie Meier is taking care, and we've talked about it off the air several times. He doesn't give a damn if you're a Democrat or Republican. If you're in his district and he can do for you, he does. And that's what we need all throughout this great state. One last thing, and we'd both be remiss if I didn't ask you about it, the Murray Center.
Things are going well at Murray. We have moved in 2 new residents. We have possibly another one coming. And there has been a huge push, Bob. Opponents to the centers always said that the Olmsted ruling meant that everybody had the right to live in the public. And they do. Everybody has that choice if you read it closely. But they use that as all centers should be closed. And there's been a huge push in the last couple of weeks out there on Facebook. And people are finally getting it, that people need to have choices. Sometimes Murray is the best place. And it's where they are cared for and we know they're safe. And our Murray parents only wish their children were in good enough shape to live in Acilla, but they can't. Right. So it's going well. We've had trick-or-treating there. They were all in their costumes, and the town people bring their kids there, and our residents love that. It's such a neat thing, and it's part of being the community. So it really was good.
Well, Charlie, we want to thank you for keeping, and you and your supporters fought to keep the Murray Center open. You got to go out there, people, to understand. You get out there and you get the tingle and you see the good things happening to those less fortunate people. You'd be want to run Charlie for president. Charlie Meier, thank you very much. State representative out of 108th Legislative District, one of the best in the state. Carl Officer, last word goes to you.
Well, I want to give a shout out. Last night we were down in Freeburg. Little Daniel, 4th grader, down at Freeburg. Great little kid, was there with his granddad, and he says he listens to you all the time, Bob. He always likes to hear me say good morning, Bob.
Yeah.
So I want to tell the young man, good morning, Bob.
Yeah,
but
thanks,
on a very, very serious note, I'm going to ask all of your listeners to pray for the family of the Chester police officer that was killed the other day. It's just tragic. And you mentioned it the other day about nobody's talking about these police officers, the two young men that were ambushed in Des Moines. But we got one close to home here after that same craziness happened over in Missouri the other day. But right down the road here in Chester, we just need to be saying our prayers for that family.
Mr. Carl Officer, co-chairman of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and your candidate for St. Clair County Coroner, Charlie Meier. It's always an honor and a privilege to have you. I hope when you get back up to Springfield, you can help push to get the budget. I know you've sincerely tried to push for your good people and the people of the state of Illinois. Let's get some more Charlie Meyers as all you reps throughout the state. Charlie, thank you very much for taking the time. Thanks for being transparent. And people, we'll see you tomorrow. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio. Losing my voice during this election season. I'm talking too much. People, understand me. November the 8th. It's time for a change. They can tell you what they're going to do. They haven't done it in 40 years. I may not be the best candidate, but the other people on the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition are excellent candidates. Elect them. Don't hold my background against them. They're great people. If you feel that I deserve your vote, give me a vote. And I promise you'll see some changes, because I will not stop fighting until something gets accomplished for you. My boss is in the 114th Legislative District. So let's continue to unite, to expose these rotten bastard political, parasitical, perverted punks that we call politicians. And everybody get out and vote on November the 8th. Hopefully you'll support us. But if not, support the brave men and women who gave their lives to give us the right to pick our leaders. Get out and vote on November the 8th. Let's not disrespect our military heroes that gave their lives. But let's disrespect these politicians. Let's destroy them on November the 8th. Destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.